Uh-oh.
Oh, Leo? Is you scared of it? No.
From my generation, we're looking at. One-day cricket had become very prominent in those days. And as a batter, as a wicketkeeper batter, you were expected to come in at number 6, number 7 and score some valuable runs. So I think the shift had taken place by then.
And that's sort of my definition anyway of what a great player is someone who changes the game. That's why Viv Richards is one of the, if not the greatest batsman. The way that he changed batting to this aggressive around the world to what we see now because of the West Indies. And Shane Warne did the same for leg spinners. And I think Adam Gilchrist was probably the first wicketkeeper that came along that really did change the role of the wicketkeeper. And now every side around the world has that real fearful, dominating wicketkeeper punisher to come in at 6 or 7 in the batting order or up the top of the order in white ball cricket. And they do that because I think he was a great who changed that role.
Look at the way the Indian team has been utilizing the service of Rishabh Pant. He came in as a whiff of fresh air. MS Dhoni out of the side, in come Rishabh Pant, and I placed some match-winning knocks at the test level, and I think that's what India wants him to do even in white ball cricket. He's not been a regular in the T20 cricket before his injury, but now since his comeback, which has been so miraculous, India wants to utilize him in number 3 because they believe in him. They believe that he has that match-winning instinct, and that is why we see him now in the T20 side.
Right, keep your questions coming. We're absolutely loving answering these. Hashtag Ask the Expert. Those are Rishabh Pant's stats across the formats. I mean, pretty good all the way through. Maybe you would say T20 internationals is the weak 3 suits if you were going to pick those from those stats.
Look, I've been, as I said before, I've been a little concerned with Ravi Bishnoi. Well, one, I've been super impressed with the way Rishabh Pant has come back from that horrific leg injury. But there's no foot movement whatsoever in T20 cricket, and it's since he's come back from that injury. So I'm hoping that that will come as he gets more and more game time under his belt. But at the moment, there's quite a big hole in his batting technique, which is perhaps not, it certainly hasn't been exploited last night when Sri Lanka bowled to him. They kept bowling the straight lines, and he's just able to pick the ball up. So it's naturally going to take a bit of time for him to find his feet once again, but you must say, from a horrific leg injury, the way he's moving as a keeper, it's a great sign that he will get back to that amazing player that we know he is.
Well, yeah, if you compare it to, say, someone like Johnny Bairstow, who had a very bad injury, but not anywhere near as bad as what happened to Rishabh Pant, and he looks different. It's affected the way he runs. He almost has a limp now. It has affected his mobility. The fact that Pant has come moment, touch wood, he looks clearly like he hasn't been diminished too much. It'll be interesting to see how he goes in 50 overs, but it is an incredible comeback.
Actually, his comeback fitter. If you recall those days before his injury, he was kind of bulky. Now he really worked hard. I think his rehab has been phenomenal. And the kind of work the surgeon and
Fair payment. Nationwide, a good way to bank.
You have to look after yourself before looking after anyone else. And that starts with self-care.
Upgrade to Dove Men Advanced. 72-hour antiperspirant plus added moisturizers for confidence that lasts.
When I have a deodorant that protects me, I can be confident and deliver what I need to for my players.
Upgrade to Dove Men Plus Care Advanced.
The following commercial is too tall for TV. The new Buffalo Towel Burger. Chicken, hash brown, buffalo sauce. It doesn't fit. Unless...
Vitality rewards you for getting active, with up to 2 months cashback on your premiums. Get in! Move forward with Vitality.
Somewhere, there's a man opening the neighborhood gym early so a kid can work on her jump shot. Somewhere, girls are drawing their own finish lines. Champions are turning into legends. And somewhere, teammates are whispering into the ears of the unsure, "You've got this." We believe no journey is taken alone. Toyota, start your impossible.
Onward! My brave warriors! Onward! To victory! Hiya, Simon. I think I'd like to invest a bit more in the chariot. Maybe add some...
Adding more depth, more space in your own credentials. And I think if youngsters can be able to do that, and that really...
Tournament. I may not get in the team, so what I have to do something to make sure I get into the side. And so he said, I'm going to make sure I get in the middle overs. I'm going to be a power hitter, which he is. I'm going to run between the wickets like an absolute rabbit. And I'm
one or two from number 1 to number 6 to roll their arm over. That is why we saw Riyan Parag today. Yashasvi Jaiswal, I mentioned that in a commentary stint. I saw him bowl in the pre-game, warm-up routines. He can really turn the ball. He has that ability. And I think Sairaj is working very hard with Yashasvi Jaiswal. So maybe during the one days, you never know. You may see Yashasvi Jaiswal also roll his arm over. So that's the kind of change that we're seeing now in modern day cricket.
Yeah, I was talking to Sri Lanka interim coach Sanath Jayasuriya before the game, and he actually said we, as in Sri Lanka, are desperate for top 6 batsmen who can bowl a bit. They don't really have that at the moment. That's part of their problem. Someone like himself, what did he get? 300 wickets or something in the white ball game, whilst being an absolutely dynamic, all-time great opening the batting. And that is exactly what sides are looking for. Sri Lanka desperately needs it solely to provide better balance to your side. It just provides options. So, you're right. I've been watching Shivam Dube warm up. He's trying to add to that. So maybe some opportunities in the IPL to be one of those all-rounders. Then Yashasvi Jaiswal, that's the first thing he does. Picks up a ball, bowling leg spinners. So it's a great, I think, lesson to any youngsters listening. Do what you have to do to get in the team. It's not always about, I want to bowl spin and that's it, or I want to be a batsman. You have to work out a way to make yourself invaluable. And that's what these guys are doing. There's so much depth in Indian cricket right now that you have to find a way to separate yourself from everybody else. And if you are an Indian fan, it should be pleasing to see the likes of Dube and Yashasvi Jaiswal and Riyan Parag adding to their games to make themselves better all-round cricketers.
Another area where the state coaches are working hard, Matt and Scotty, is to develop more batting all-rounders who can bowl pace. That's why we see the team management backing Shivam Dube so much. And I think in Zimbabwe he did manage to bowl overs and pick wickets. If you look at IPL, there are a number of these young batting all-rounders who are willing to roll their arm over and who can already. Hardik Pandya is such a special commodity. Right now, we don't have anyone in the horizon who can bowl 135, 140 and still bat the way Hardik Pandya does.
So before we move on, sorry, Siva, to jump in there. That's where I'm still not in my mind.
Well, again, someone on the payroll. This time Scotty's mate is tweeted.
Scotty's not working hard enough to develop such cricketers, isn't it?
And India has had very few in that time. So how do you explain? Is that to do with conditions?
That'll be one of the reasons. Yeah, I think our paces, I won't say fast bowlers, with even, there have been a few, the Chris Cairns of this world, they very much are. But I think as well, we have a population of 5 million. So we don't get as many players of talent coming through. And often the ones that do get asked to bat and bowl. They grow up batting and bowling because there aren't as many people you have to beat out for competition. And then if you have got some skills, then you often get picked before you're necessarily ready, before you've earned the right through performances, and you develop on the job, if you like. New Zealand often does that. Someone like Mitchell Santner, who's a very, very talented white ball cricketer all around the world, he played a lot of test cricket with a first-class best bowling of 3 for. But the New Zealand selector said, we know you're an international quality player, you're not there yet, but we're going to bring you in and let you develop and give you.
Same best as Rian Parag.
And I knew that
And he's only
yesterday.
played a couple of
I knew
games.
that. I'm sitting there thinking, Rian Parag and I've got the same. Surely I can do better than that. Yeah, sadly T20s came around right at the back end.
Let's get the ODI stats back up there. Come on. He was more of an ODI player, wasn't he, Scotty? But I mean, did you, clearly we saw your stats there, did you always consider yourself as a batting all-rounder? Was there any stage where you felt, actually my bowling's in better shape than my batting?
And just to add to that, what Matt has asked you, Scott, at any point in your career, international career, did you ever think that maybe I should continue more as a batter because bowling was taking a toll on you? It was affecting your batting performance?
No, see, I was always lazy. and I figured out very quickly the best way to play cricket was to send it slip so you don't have to run, to bowl so you're always you're staying in the game, and to bat in the middle order when the ball's older. So that is the best way to go about it. But then again, and opening the bowling, and I opened the bowling in our first class side on debut, and I bowled and batted at numbers 9 and 10, and even batted 11 in our first class side.
Wow!
Batted 11. I batted 11
match
for New Zealand in a game, listed at 11, and yet because I got my first opportunities as a bowler in the New Zealand side, but I was always a batsman who bowled, and it ended up flipping over, and I spent most of my career batting 4 or 5 in my New Zealand career. So you will eventually find your niche, and as I say, New Zealand will go about their own way of getting and developing cricketers, which doesn't necessarily apply in India. Being a fast bowling all-rounder in India is tough work. You've got the heat, you've got conditions that don't necessarily suit you. You've got to find a way. That's why I've got so much respect for the likes of Zahir Khan, for the likes of Jaminda Bas, in these conditions as fast bowlers who have just for years done the hard work. You have to have a bit of a toughness about you in this part of the world to be a fast bowler, and that's why, not for a second am I suggesting Hardik Pandya doesn't have that toughness. He certainly does. It is so difficult if you're going to bat in the top 6 and be a fast bowling all-rounder in the subcontinent. It takes an incredible toll on your body.
The best figures in Test match, 6 for 35. That happened in New Zealand or here in any of the Asian countries?
6 for was in the West Indies.
West Indies.
Brian Lara, Chris Gale, Carl Hooper, Sarwan, Wavell Hines, and I don't remember who the other one was. All batsmen.
Doesn't matter.
And a run out.
Just blown away the top
and a
one.
run out. And 60 not out in that game.
Yeah, I sincerely hope you got player of the match. Right, Surya Kumar Yadav and also Gautam Gambhir. So we anticipate